All right, let's talk some UW football. Their preseason is pretty much over. They rolled over Rutgers, Idaho, and Portland State. Conference play starts this weekend for the Huskies. They're matched up against Arizona this weekend. Should be a much tougher game than anything the Dogs have played this season. Lacey, what should we know about Arizona?
So Arizona is 2-1 right now. The Wildcats seem to have more of a rushing offense with 10 rushing touchdowns on the season and only 2 passing touchdowns, which seems to be quite the opposite of Jake Browning and the Dogs, who have 15 receiving touchdowns. Some players to look out for the Wildcats is Nick Wilson, who is a running back. He averages 6 yards per rush and has 3 touchdowns on the season thus far. The next player to look out for looks like a running back on paper, but is in fact the Wildcats quarterback, Brandon Dawkins, averages 6.9 yards per rush and has run in 5 touchdowns himself. Dawkins has only thrown for 458 yards this season compared to Browning's 744 yards. So we have 2 completely different styles of football coming for us this weekend. It should be a fun game to watch.
Kellen, I'll toss it over to you. Who does the matchup favor? What are some things we should expect this weekend?
So Arizona defense is giving up an average of 22 points a game. The UW offense is averaging 49 points a game. So you look at those two things, I think that's what is really going to be the tail of the football game. I think the UW offense is going to have a field day against the Arizona defense. It's going to be basically 7-on-7 out there. I believe Jake Browning is going to throw about 3 to 4 touchdowns. John Ross is going to continue his spectacular football play. Again, he's honestly up there with the Heisman, in my opinion, the way he's playing right now. But again, they're playing away. I know I've talked a lot about home and away so far, but UW has struggled in away games during their kind of career with Chris Peterson. So I'm looking forward to this being UW's first real test. Again, you kind of talk about that preseason schedule, some cupcake games, no question about it, with the cherry on top. So I'm looking forward to UW facing some adversity for the first time this season and kind of seeing how they're going to react to it. But I believe the Huskies should win the football game. I'm going to go 35-21.
So I don't know how much you looked into Arizona's schedule, but the 22 points a game, is that because they're playing kind of cupcake games like UW has played, or
yeah. Looking at Arizona's schedule, they lost to BYU, which is a pretty decent football team. But other than that, they played some pretty easy schools, some Sacramento State kind of schools. Not officially Sacramento State, but schools kind of like that. So the fact that their defense gave up that many points against schools like that is scary when they're about to face the UW offense.
Exactly. So if we were to do the same thing with the University of Washington defense and see what they gave up against Rutgers and Idaho and Portland State,
right,
you'd be like, oh, this defense is incredible.
Exactly.
I mean, those numbers aren't super telling yet.
Yeah.
Which is why it's exciting to get into conference play, because we can finally see, is the University of Washington really the 9th best team in the country?
Right, 9th best. That's crazy to think about.
Kel, you kind of took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, Jake put on another show, 4 touchdowns, not a lot of yards, only 163, but 3 or 4 touchdowns. Total for the year is now at 12. I mean, the guy's going to have a year. It's the air raid offense, ladies and gentlemen. Arizona's not ready for it. They're going to hang 50 plus on them. I'm going for 50 plus.
It should be fun.
Wow.
It's tough. It's tough for us because we're also invested in the POU football team, but it's going to be fun to watch. How conference play turns out for UW, because there's legitimacy behind it. They are right now the 9th best team in the top 25.
Yep,
that's legit. They're nationally recognized, so it's going to be fun to follow that throughout the year.